All right. When you were at Aberdeen, did you have any adjustment to being away from home, or the food, the barracks, and other than getting sick? I know you said you get
No,
sick.
being sick was, I did get the homesickness. I definitely was homesick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never, I wasn't that much of a homer, but I just sit for something. It just didn't sit well with me, and I got over it within a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got back home and on a pass and so on, I passed that point. But yeah, the food was always satisfactory as far as I'm concerned. I mean, when you're 17 years old, everything tastes good, and to somebody else it may not.
Mm-hmm. As long as they feed you, right?
Yeah, they fed. I felt that we were well treated. There's no question about that.
Okay.
Especially in the hospital.
Right. Okay.
Very nice.
All right. Do you recall what hospital? Was it the base hospital?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
right on the base, right in
Oh.
Aberdeen Proving Grounds. I think at the time, I don't know whether it is now or not, the largest military base in the United States has.
Okay. Okay.
It's a proving grounds where they take all the equipment that we make, plus the enemy and so on, they test it and see what the advantages or disadvantages of it and so on.
Okay.
Very interesting work.
Yeah. So you went back to from your past. You went back to Aberdeen. Well, where did you go then? Where were you assigned?
From Aberdeen, I was picked out to go overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and this is right around July.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, Camp Patrick Henry, I think, was the name of the camp, and that was in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
Hampton Roads, or something like that. That's where the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at the port of embarkation. It was there, and that I believe it was July 7th. I'm going to say.
Okay.
And we were there waiting for instructions, and we finally got our boarding pass, our boarding instructions, and then we got on. Once it wasn't a convoy; they were sinking ships right and left off the coast at that particular time. Matter of fact, newspapers were full of it, such as that a ship was sunk, and so we weren't really that nervous about it, because when you're 17 years old, you're going to live forever anyway. So, but we got on the ship there. Our ship had about 11,000 people on it, believe it or not. It was called the Empress of Scotland. It was originally the Empress of Japan, but we went to war with Japan, so they knocked off the Japan part of it. And it was a Canadian ship, and it was manned by the British. British took it over, but it was a Canadian ship, the Empress line. So it was Empress of Scotland. That's what it was.
So it was a passenger ship.
Oh yeah, it was a big. It was, at the time, it was the 11th largest ship in the world, I guess. Mm-hmm. And we had 2,000 nurses on our ship. We had it wasn't an inch that wasn't covered with men. I don't know how many ships that carried more than 11,000 people. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. So how long did it take you to get to Europe? I'm assuming you were headed to Europe.
No, we headed to Africa, because the European war hadn't even started yet. We were there in England, of course.
Okay.
But when we got on the ship, everybody got sick. They got seasick except me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but the third day, when everybody was over it, I get sick. And I used to go down to the mess hall and look around, and there was nobody there. He said, "It's like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you sick?" But and the third day, I think it was, I got sick. I really got sick. And then they say, once you get sick, I don't know if you experienced this or not, but once you get sick, you probably won't get sick again. And I've been in terrible weather. It comes later, and I didn't get sick. And everybody else in the ship did. So.
Okay. So where in North Africa did you?
Well, we landed in Casablanca.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's right around July, I'm going to say around July 15th or something like that.
Okay, all right. And a little bit more about the travel. How many days did it take you to get from Hampton Roads to Casablanca?
About a week. Yeah, they patrolled us. They kept giving us cover until about the third day, and then the blimps would come over, and CAP planes would come over, and so on. And after that, they said we're on our own. And at night, as we zigzagged all across, they release smoke and stuff like that at night, but not during the day. I don't believe the moon was out or anything.